Hi fellas, how are you doing? Hope you're all okay. So, I don't know if you remember a few videos ago, I said wanted you guys to sort of say which kit you'd like to see me build. It's going to be a new one for this channel. It's going to be a build along. Never done it before, so there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be balls ups, there's going to be all sorts. But you know, I thought I'd give it a go because I seem to see everybody else doing it, and they make such good jobs, you know. And to be honest, it's some of my favourite videos I like. So just as part of the new, hopefully the new way this channel's going to be going this year, with more content, hopefully, I wanted to start with a build along and see how we do with it. Now, the winner of that build along, or the one that was voted the most, was this. Okay, so full interior apparently, M-ATV or M-Wrap, whichever one you want to prefer, and this has won it. Now I've got some of the tyres, resin tyres, but I've also ordered the radio that goes inside, which is a resin piece as well. So in a way it says full interior kit, but it's not really. It's a bit of a piss take, I suppose, I don't know. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is just go through sort of the process of what happens when I choose a new project or see what we do. So I've written some things down, and hopefully, you know, you can make sense of them, and perhaps you do them, perhaps you don't do them, you know. But this is my way of approaching a new venture, new project. So obviously you look for your project. I always, you know, think of try and watch other people's videos, look at video DVDs, you know, programs on telly and all that type of stuff. So then once you've decided what you want to do, you obviously go and find what kits are available, what you have in your stash or whatever else. So then once I've done that, what I do is as you all know, I love my reference books. I love looking at the reference books. So I look through my library and I see what I've got, if I've got anything on that subject. Now luckily for this project I have several which I've collected over the years. The first one I'm going to be using is a Osprey book, and that's on special operations patrol vehicles in Afghan and Iraq. Second will be this. It's a David Doyle book, and it's a Max Pro, a visual history. Now this isn't specifically for that version, but you know, you get all pictures of like the interior and everything in there, that a lot will be the same as in that. Thirdly, I've got another Osprey book, which is the US Army and Marine Corps M-Wraps. And then fourth and final is this Modern US Tactical Vehicles, which is a Tankergrad publishing, which is also good. So there's some pictures in there I'm going to be using. So that's what I do for reference. So I've got my reference sorted, and you know, you go through and you'll look at, like, say, I don't know, if you're doing German Army, you might see a certain thing that took part in Kharkov or Stalingrad or something like that, you know. So that's that. Now I'm not building a specific vehicle for a specific time. Now I was actually going to do there's two call outs in this kit, and I was actually going to do this Polish version here because I thought I might stick it on a little diorama with IBG's KTO Rozomak infantry carrier that the Polish army use. I thought that might be a nice little dio in Afghan. However, I just think these M-ATV M-Wraps just look ace, aren't they, in the sand colour, you know. And I know people say boring because you always see it in that, you know, but I don't know. So it's going to be a big build, like I say, because and a very time consuming build, because it's got every little bit of detail in the engine, including pipes, plumbing and all sorts in there, and electrics, everything. So I am looking forward to it, but I'm a bit apprehensive too. So that's the first thing I do, first couple of things I do with a project when I'm approaching it. And then what I do is, like, as well as books, you've also got the internet, which is fantastic for information and research and stuff, but you also have to, I would seriously suggest just checking the bits of information on the internet, because you know it cannot be, not all the time it's going to be truthful, so you just need to be a bit cautious if you've been so positive and certain on a specific number, you know. And then what I'll do is I will then sit down at the bench, and the first thing I do is go through all the parts and the bags and everything, open them up, make sure that everything's there, it all matches with the sprue map and that. Now, one thing this has got already is, in the instructions, it actually comes with, have I got it in here? I don't know if I put it in or not. Perhaps I have. Oh, it's here at the front. Now, this actually comes with a separate sheet, and it's basically the correct errors on the main instructions that you need to correct. So what I've done is I go through the instructions and I study and try and look for, you know, look ahead, look back, and look at how things go together. Could that cause me a problem? Right, I need that certain paint for that, you know, and such and such. So what I've done is already I've gone through each part of the instructions where these are, and I've marked and circled in the instructions where the correction is. So that's already done, so that part, you know. But it is vital that for any build, really, if it's just a quick one, go through your instructions and just properly have a good look through, because you know they really are, you could balls up and wreck the whole kit if you don't. So that's the next thing I do. And then the thing after that, what I do is which a lot of you have commented on in the past, but what I'll do is I'll label up the sprues. Now, luckily here, I'm actually doing a build at the minute, my buddy build, with Bill, and what I do is, let's get these, I label up the sprues, like so, with a bit of masking tape on the edges. Now I've always done that, and I know a few people now do it too, but obviously this is a Tamiya kit, and obviously there's the labelling on the actual sprue, but that just gives you an extra, when you quick glance, so you know it's there, you know you're picking up the right one. So that's what I do next. And then what I'll do is, if it's a fairly oldish kit or even a newish kit, it depends how long it's been out for, I shall trawl YouTube, scale mates and stuff like that, and I shall go through reviews of this kit and see what other people a lot more skilled than I am, which doesn't take much, and see what their opinions are of it, what they've struggled with, what certain part. There might be several builds already of this kit, so you know, Joe Blogs might have had a problem on step 2, piece number 46, you know, it didn't fit properly. So then now I know when I go to that is going to be an issue, that could potentially be an issue. Now we're all different, we all approach things differently, so you know, what he struggles with I might not, and vice versa, but it's always good to double check. And then what I'll do is I will, if there is anything that needs picking up on there, so you know there's a mistake there or whatever, or a certain part is missing that I need for this in particular thing, this particular project, so say classic example, Tiger Tank, I don't know, I'm not up on my Tigers at all, but something's missing off it that you need for the project that you've got. So then I will have a look at the aftermarket that's available. Now, at this day and age, classic example, this kit, this is not a cheap kit, and also it says it's a full interior, so my beliefs are, if that's a full interior, I should not have to buy any products to make this build complete. Now if I want a different machine gun, then that's up to me. That's not the kit's fault, that's up to me. So with me having to buy the radio, that says to me that is not a full interior, but that's just me. So I'll always have a look at the different parts of aftermarket and bits that are available, just so if I break something, or perhaps if I lose something, you know, then I know that I can fall back onto this. Okay, it might be a bit expensive, but if I save, or if I'm more cautious, or you know what I'm trying to say. I go through the aftermarket and see what's available. Then what I'll do is I then sit down and I will check my tools. So I will go through my tool drawer, which is just here by the bench, which is just here. I'll check I've got all my tools and they're all okay, they're all good enough to start. Because the worst thing in the world is you don't want to start a project and think, bugger, that's broken and I needed to replace that tool, so I can't do this with it. And then if it's a Sunday or it's coming up to a Saturday night and there's nowhere open, then you've got to wait till the, you know, it just all, yeah, or you live miles away from somewhere. So I always go through my tools, and then what I shall do is as well, after every build is finished, I hoover up, I dust, and I clear all the areas so I know that it's ready for the next build, so that I know that if there's any parts that I find on the table, they are must be from this kit, because I've cleared up and everything's gone from the previous project. So that just gives me peace of mind. I go through the sanders I've got. I literally go through every tool that I will need for this project, so I know that I'm not going to get caught short. I dust everywhere, and especially I dust and stick the hoover over where I paint, which is over there. Just because the dust onto your glossing or protecting your build could potentially ruin it. So I do that. Then I go through the call outs on the kit, so I just make sure that I've got all the paints in that I need. I go through my glossies and all that type of thing, and then because I've previously planned what I want to do with this build, so it's going on a diorama or it's just going to be a standalone kit, so I know now that, right, it's going on a diorama. So say with this vehicle it's going to be an Afghan's a dusty country, so with me doing my research I know that I will need this bit of oils, or I need this bit of bush to make this bush, or I need to make this building or whatever, because I've pre-planned it and know what it's going to, so I'm not going to get caught short in the long run. So that's that bit I do. So then I check all the paints, like I say, make sure I've got all the right colours to complete the build, all the right colours for the interior, you know, fire extinguishers, red, some of them are red, seating, could be leather, could be fabric, you know. So that, then I double check all that, and then basically that's it, guys. I will then sort of sit back and, you know, go through the parts as I go along, and just start to try and enjoy it, really. So this is Friday, which is now, this will be Friday 2 weeks ago, which is when, so this is the Friday before the Monday that I yeah. So this is already pre-recorded, so I'm going to upload this when in the recovery stage of my health. So hopefully you'll get this possibly the week after that procedure, sort of thing. So yeah, this is the winner. Now, you guys that want to see the Abrams, that will be built in the future. That could also potentially be my second build along, the Abrams, I don't know. But you'll definitely see it, don't worry, guys. But this is going to be the build along. So I shall finish the Tyran 5, which I'm doing a buddy build with Bill Ray for the RDF group build that I'm running on Facebook and YouTube. But also I will be starting the HK Models B17G as well in 1/48 flavour, with another buddy build, that is with my good friend Paul Ing from Military Modelling by Paul on YouTube. So yeah, that's just a bit of an insight, guys, of how I go about a new project and how I, you know, things I do and whatever else. Now, a lot of you will probably think, geez, what a ball ache to go through all that. That's fair enough, you know, that's great. I'm just showing you my way of what I do. It makes me happy. It makes me peace of mind. It settles me, and that's just my way of doing things. You guys might do all this later in a build or whatever else, you know, so that's fine. There's no right and there's no wrong way. If you don't like it, then just get rid of the video. You don't have to watch it, do you? So there you go, guys. This will start as well, by the way, as soon as I'm able to. Let's just put it like that. So fingers crossed it will be pretty soon. So there you go. Alright then, guys, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry for rabbiting on, but I thought I'll do that bit just so you're aware. So hope you're all well, hope you all stay safe, and may the force be with you. Bye, guys. Bye.